I'm Candace,
And this is Holding Spaces.
a podcast we created to hold space for people's thoughts, feelings, and stories. Carla and I often hold space for each other, so we thought it would be cool to have a space where that we could share with others and also hold space for them.
And with that, we have somebody very special. She's basically an older sister to me, and we have a closeness that I wouldn't trade for the world. She's definitely been a sound mind for me. I am able to rely on her um, and her wisdom and knowledge that she has, and she'll tell me when I'm wrong. She'll tell me when I'm wrong, but she cared. The way that she goes about it is with nothing but care, and she's also very patient. But she's definitely somebody you don't want to mess with either. So, introducing Zanetta Dixon.
Hey, how are you, Candace?
Hi, Zanetta. It is so nice to meet you.
Same here.
So today we're going to talk about expectations in non-romantic relationships. But before we talk about that, I wanted to give you an opportunity to share one of your happiest moments or the thing that you're most proud of or just something that makes you warm, fuzzy and happy on the inside because I feel like we'll often talk about things that are heavy and deep and try to sort through those. But I just want to have a light moment and just take a minute to share joy.
Well, I'm an individual. Um, I look at life different. I have multiple happy moments because I make my own happy moments.
Mhm. Very important.
But if I had to share one with you guys, it would be I have a twin.
Okay.
I call her my womb mate, my
That's
first
cute.
friend, my first peer, my go-to. Um, some of the things about her I wish I had more of,
Oh.
and that's my happy moment.
Okay. Well, since we talking about non-romantic relationships today and expectations, do you want to share a little bit about your relationship with your twin with us?
Um, my first memory with my twin is learning how to share.
Mm-hmm.
My mother bought us both bicycles. I don't know if you know about the tricycle, the big one in the front and the two in the back.
Big wheel.
I don't know if she had a purple one, I had a green one, or if she had a green. I don't know what color it was,
That's a big
but
wheel.
it was a bike. Yeah. So 18 wheelers was allowed to come down our street back then. But I don't know how my twin parked her tricycle. It ran down the driveway and it got
Uh,
hit by an 18 wheeler, which is why they're not allowed down the street to this day. One of the reasons I know for sure. And I had to learn how to share. Um, so as a kid, I learned how to share, but as an adult, I learned who to share with.
that's interesting. To have that experience to and I understand from a child's perspective, you used to having your own big wheel. So
Yeah.
that could seem unfair. It's like I didn't let my bike roll down the driveway.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
why
Exactly.
I gotta share, you
Yeah.
know?
That sounds like Candace. That's exactly what she would be
But I
saying.
think I think something you really said is really important is just understanding. You like it's one thing to learn to share, but then it's
Mhm.
a whole nother lesson to learn who you should share with.
Yes, because everything starts to me. Family sets the tone.
Okay.
I feel like everything starts at home, fighting, arguing, wrestling, playing, cracking jokes. It just everything starts at home and sets you for life outside of home. Being told no, I have no problem with that because I was told no at home. So I just think family sets the tone, good, bad, and as far as expectations, um, which is the main subject of while we're here. I
Mm-hmm.
just think as I've gotten older and look back on my life, I have hurt myself from
Mm,
expecting.
mm, yeah. Um. I think we could. I mean, I know for sure I could say that I've hurt myself based on the expectations I had with other people. But I just want to talk about one thing that you said that I think is very important, like family setting the expectation. And then one of the things you said is that you used to, or you've grown accustomed to accepting somebody's no. And when
Hmm.
we talk about expectations in relationships, I think that comes up quite a bit. When somebody say no to you, you know, if you're not accustomed to accepting that, how do you deal with that? But you learning that And becoming accustomed to that in your family gives you an opportunity to be prepared for that and to expect that in your relationships so that you don't have that issue.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, and this is something that she told me this a couple of months ago about that. Um, your family sets the tones for your expectations and your character, and that really set still with me. But for me, expectations. To be honest, I didn't hear the word no a lot growing up. Um, I learned a lot from watching how my dad was and how my mom were, and they were good people initially, naturally, especially my mom with her heart. So that's how I've been raised to expect people to be exactly like how I am. I'm learning, especially recently, that I can't, something you keep telling me, and you have told me, like, you can't expect good from other people because you're good to people.
And I'm not trying to navigate from what you're saying. I'm not saying I was told no all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I was just taught how to handle
Handle to saying
no.
no. Yeah.
Because you could, as a parent of four, um, I had to learn that not right now,
Mm-hmm.
next week. I
Mm-hmm.
never said no.
Mm-hmm.
I just said not right now, next week. And in
Mm-hmm.
between that time, I don't know how I'm gonna come up with it, but I'm gonna come up with it. But at the same time, when you don't tell your child no, you're some people, not all, we're raising our children based off what we didn't like as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it's okay to raise your children, letting them know yes, no,
Mm-hmm.
because if the child is always told yes, that's what they going out in the world to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
If you tell me no, you're not the right person for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't mean that person is.
Mm-hmm.
They never told you no. They just said not today.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a difference. Like I'm definitely learning that with my son who's 11. Uh Sometimes I'm flustered and I'm frustrated and I just be like no. But I'm learning that sometimes that no makes him feel like I hadn't heard him or I'm not hearing him out. And sometimes I gotta say, hey, I can't talk about this or I can't give you an answer right now. Or like you said, not right now, maybe next week, Um, but I think that makes a big difference because then I'm not just closed off to what you're asking me for. I'm trying to see because you're important to me and this is something that's important to you, how I can make that work.
Yes,
Yeah.
because children, we don't have the mentality of us three right now today.
Oh
When a
yeah,
child hear
sure.
no, no is no.
Hmm.
When a child hear not today, it's still no to them. But
It
you
leaves
have
them
to,
hope.
yeah,
I
you
feel
give
like
them
it gives
hope.
them hope.
Um, Even if you got to come back and sit them down, and sit down and talk to them. I feel like, um, majority of people that's always say yes is fulfilling gaps where they um was a child. Because if you just say yes, 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 everything is yes.
Yeah.
What have you really taught them?
But
Right.
I feel that same way with no as well. If you're used to hearing no, you can also do the exact same thing with no.
But I'm just also saying that I was never always told
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
but I know how to handle
Handle
no.
being no. So
For the most part, we know what Nike feel like. We know what Jordan feel like. We know what Chris Webber felt like. We knew what Patrick Ewing felt like. But we also knew what Montgomery was. We knew what Kmart was.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my mom taught me as a little girl that it's not the clothes that make you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I learned how to handle.
How to deal with no.
Yes.
So one of the things that goes into that is growing up and hearing the word yes or no. Is how you develop character,
Mm-hmm.
and the question is, I think all of us can answer this. What does it mean? What does character mean to you? What does it mean? What does it represent
Well,
for you, Netta?
yeah.
And then we'll ask Candace. Candace, what your
Well,
thoughts
I know
are?
the
Okay.
definition of character, but my life experiences of character to me is how I see you treat someone else. It sets the tone for, I'm not saying how you treated that person, you're going to do it to me, but it lets me know you're capable of doing so. So I got to protect me and my boundaries. Not saying you'll do it to me, but because you showed me, I'm not leaving no doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop right into that. And I think Carla, I talked to you about this before, but when you see how people treat other people, don't think that they won't do that to you. And I think a lot of the times it say more about who they are and less about who you are to them. You know, when you see somebody do something that's foul, it's like, oh, okay. It don't matter who you did it to, but you got it in you to do this foul stuff. So if I'm close enough to you where you could do this to me, it's a possibility that you would. As far as character to me is who you are. I think
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest character things I look for is integrity and authenticity. So those are like two things that are important to me. Character, integrity and authenticity. Um Honesty. That's a part of your character too. You know, and what your ethics are. You know, what's important to you, where your core values are helps develop what type of person you are and what character traits you display.
And so for me, I'll piggyback off of both of you. I'm real big on integrity. I'm real big on core values and ethics, and honesty, and then also trust. That's a big one for me when it comes to someone's character. For me, I feel that people have seasons. People have seasons, and I think at sometimes you might not always 100% perform with integrity at certain moments in your life, but the thing is I'm looking at a ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at, hey, are you acting this way in this one instance, or is this your behavior all the time?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I do believe in giving grace. And I think that's one of my issues with friendships
Well, you
is
got,
that I give grace.
and you should. You just
Yeah.
have to learn who to give it to, because if God gave us grace,
Mm-hmm.
and we all fall short,
Mm-hmm.
we can give grace, but you can give grace from a distance.
That's what
Absolutely.
you've been telling me.
You can give
Absolutely.
grace and
And
love
that's
from a distance.
and that's what I'm thinking while you talking, Carla. Like, I mean, everybody, I don't want to say everybody don't deserve your grace, but grace may look different for different people. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know. If you show me something and I really don't like it, then I'm gonna need some distance. You know, and especially
Yeah.
if it's something where I feel like, this person could hurt me, this person could hurt my family, or this person is volatile, then my boundaries are different around
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have the energy to be trying to defend against that.
But to
So.
piggyback off Candace, that comes with knowing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know your yes is your yes and your no is your no. If you trying
Right.
to look for confirmation and validation, it's not gonna succeed. You have to know who you are. If
Absolutely.
sometimes standing alone
Mm-hmm.
on the belief that you wholeheartedly know is true, stand
Mm-hmm.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
So
if you comfortable with who you are, you more comfortable with standing alone.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I think for the most part, because and I can only speak for me. For the most part, I think I am someone that stands by themselves a lot. So the fact that I have people in my space, um, it takes a lot to be able to be in my space. So the fact that you're in my space is kind of hard for me to decipher those characters and when it comes to boundaries, because I feel like, hey, I even gave you the privilege to be in my space because I don't give everybody that privilege. So that means you mean something to me. So that's when it comes, okay, learning just because I've given you a privilege that I am learning now that does not necessarily mean that they still have the best character.
Right.
And I tell y'all all the time, I done said this to you and I said this to Netta, that I feel like I'm a late bloomer because I'm 41 and just learning some of these things because most of the people that I know in my life, I still consider everybody I grew up with my friends, even though we're on different spectrums. And in reality, are they? And it's something you have said to me. Everybody you grow up with doesn't make you their friend.
Associate.
Absolutely.
And it's associates, and Candace is good at saying associates real quick.
I had to learn that though, and
Yeah,
it wasn't a painless experience. I'll say that.
yeah. So I guess how does character affect who you choose to be in a relationship with, as far as your friendships? How does character determine that for you?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
One of my biggest strengths in school was math. And what stands out to me is decimals and place values.
Mm,
Before the decimal, you got your people on the left. You love, you don't
yeah.
want no ill intentions. You don't want nothing bad to happen to them, but they stay on the left. Then you got your people after the decimal. You want the same thing, but you put your energy into them. You call, how are you? Just checking on you, haven't heard from you. So people let you know where you stand in their life off
Mm,
place values. It doesn't have to be an ill intention. It's just I don't care about you to see how your day is going. But I still love you. I don't wish
mm-hmm.
nothing bad about you, but you belong on this side of the decimal. But the
That's
people on the right side of the decimal, I'm putting my energy into. How are you doing? Haven't heard from you. I
that's
tell you, if you stop calling people, you will see where you belong in their life.
absolutely.
And that's just one of my life experiences from school, math, decimals,
Mm.
place values. You people show you where you stand.
Okay, but do you think that some of who you are decides who those people are that belong on either side of the decimal point? Like, is it something about you and your character that determines who decides? I mean, who ends up on which side of the decimal point?
Well, I'm not gonna pretty much say. I'm just gonna say from my experience, and I only can talk on my experience
Mm-hmm.
that people. We live in a selfish world
Mm-hmm.
today. I grew up even with my twin to share, but where we at today, the same things that applied to me then, I still apply them today, but differently. So I decide who go on what side of the decimal.
Mm-hmm.
I decide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm real good at, and I'm tired of shrinking and downsizing what the Lord have gave me. I have good discernment. I talk sarcasm and body language better than English. So my thing is I'm a good observant. I observe everything. Body language, slick talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start, when I see a head on collision, it's not that I'm scared of you, but I'm going to depart from this.
You don't want to waste your energy on it. Why waste your energy on it?
I had that energy, but I done turned that corner too. But it's still down in me. It's still down in me now. But
It's still way down. I got a squeezer. It's
gotta
down.
squeeze my wrist, but it's still down in me. But um I don't have to go back and forth with the gift that the Lord gave me.
Mm. Because you know who you are.
I know who I am.
Uh huh.
Despite of the whisper. Because I feel like this is said and that is said. At the end of the day, nobody cares what you do, who you talk to, what you talking about. It's just something for them to talk and gossip about. They don't care. And guess what? You got to stand in that and deal with it, because next week is going to be somebody else's turn. So when you learn behavior and when you learn, I feel like nothing's going to happen to me that didn't happen to the good Lord. And he left a beautiful example for me to how to deal with it. Mm. He left example of the deal with people that betray you. He left me example of, it's just, you got to get yourself off that head collision that you see about to happen.
Yeah, you taking us to church.
Listen.
Oh, I go to church.
It's to the point.
I know. I mean, I'm just saying.
I go to church, and it's a side of me that people don't know about that neither. I go to church.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's deep. Life is deep. Because with character, people don't be their authentic self from a child. You like, oh, what happened to you? It's all about what life threw at them.
Experiences.
Their experiences, who they develop, who they turn to be. So when I see you, I love you. I love you.
But you're on this side of the desk.
But I done turned that corner already.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, I feel like like I said, I feel like I'm a late bloomer in a lot of things, because instantly I'm used to just doing a lot on my own. I'm used to, still loving people and hanging out with people when necessary, but I never really got deep into looking at or paying attention, or me, I can honestly say, mm-hmm. I don't have great discernment when it comes to these things, because to me, I'm looking at it like I'm a good person, so I think everybody else is supposed to be a good person. I'm the person that's going to hold you accountable. I expect you to hold me accountable. I'm the person that's going to do the right thing, so I expect you to do the right things. But in reality, everybody's different. And that's what I learned with, how that's what I'm learning now. Before, I was learning, just rock with people because, you're not always looking at a character flaw. And most of the time, what I realize now is that maybe I'm ignoring people's character flaws, as opposed to acknowledging them.
Well, when you become a victim,
mm-hmm.
you move differently.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a victim, like you said, you're a late bloomer. Mm-hmm. You're a late bloomer because you've never been a victim of betrayal. You've never been a victim of being lied on. Once you become a victim of those things, you move a little bit more cautious.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning that shit now.
I mean, well, that's the best lesson in life is life. It's life. But I'm just saying, you could tell a victim mm-hmm. of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a victim.
So let me ask y'all a question, Candy Cane. And I want this to go strictly to you. Well, I want you to answer it too, but how do you feel about the term birds of a feather fly together, especially when it comes to character and expectations?
For me, I think it could be certain feathers on that bird that can be similar across the birds that flock together, but I definitely flock with people who may not live the same life that I live or do the same things that I do, and I don't do the same things that they do. But it's something about, when we go back to the character and what draws you to people, it's something about their character that draws me to them. Mm-hmm. And it could just be a little piece. But then along with that is respecting the relationship and how they regard, my boundaries and that type of thing as well. So I'm going to just say no. I mean, because that term is like, do you do the stuff that the people you are in relationship with do? Yeah. No. Yeah. Birds of a feather do not always flock together.
See, and for me, I used to always be like, nah, they don't flock together. Nah, they do. People, because I got friends that's strippers. I got friends that's doctors. I have friends all over the place that don't do the same things that I do. But what I do realize is, especially as of late, that to me it all comes down to character. And I'm realizing now that it's certain people that I love and I have a great time with, but I realize that they actually, I don't respect the fact that they're cheaters. You know, I don't respect the fact that they're liars. I don't respect the fact that, they manipulate. So in that aspect, those are part of your character to me. So
when you say you don't accept it, what do you mean?
what I mean is, hey, I don't want to be around somebody that I gotta feel like, I don't know, is gonna be all the way honest with me. I don't want to be around people that I know will sit here and smile in your face, but talk about you behind your back. Regardless of what you do in life. I wouldn't care if you was an alcoholic who didn't work every day. But if I know that are upfront and honest and in your truth, then I'm more willing to rock with you
so
than
that mean
somebody
you only
that's
want
not.
to be around 10% of the world.
Well,
I'm just saying, you only want to be around 10% of the world.
That's enough. You don't need,
because 90% of us fall short every day.
But I think this though, we do fall short, right? Mm-hmm. I believe there, like I said, people have seasons, right? Mm-hmm. Because you both of you know how I've been acting over the past few months. I'm definitely haven't been acting like myself, but in some of my behavior. But you both also know my heart, so that's not naturally me.
And that's the feather of us that rock together. The heart.
Yeah, so that's the thing. What I'm saying is, if you are somebody that always getting over on somebody, then
that's a red flag.
Then to me, hey, I'm realizing now that's not what I want in my life. Yeah. And it's crazy because it actually took me to, it just took me to this place now. And it's so weird because to me, like I said, everybody I've known that I've been cool with, that I've known since I grew up with, since Candace, and everybody I've known since I moved to Detroit, since everybody that I've known in work relationships, if we are good and I feel like you cool or whatever, then hey, you're my friend. In reality, I'm not discerning people and their character too well in that process, because hey, I know who I am to you, but I'm not questioning who you are to me.
Right. Okay.
So that's the thing. That's when it comes to how I'm looking at, hey, I'm learning now, and it's sad under the circumstances that I'm learning, but I'm learning that to me, birds of a feather do flock together more than separately. Y'all can disagree, but that's how I feel when it comes to character. Because to me, birds of a feather is about character. I don't care about your lifestyle. I don't care about what you do for a living. I'm talking about, for me, birds of a feather is based off of character and integrity and how you move. That's what it is for me, and ethics.
I mean, I think it is too, but it's not like everything ain't gonna match up. You know what I'm saying?
I don't expect everything to match up.
I got people that's my friends, and I'm not always sure they telling the truth. But it's just like, how do you show up for me in our relationship?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I might not be able to believe every story you tell me or everything you say. You know what I'm saying? But that's coming from a place of hurt or pain or whatever. And I respect that, and I love you, and I rock with you regardless of that. Because that's not detrimental to my life that you tell a little fib here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything don't match up morally. Everything don't match up with people's character, but it match up enough to where it's not a material issue for me.
But I think
I move forward in a friendship.
Yeah, but I think that comes along to you discerning what's the amount and what's the ratio for you. Like for me, if I know you lie all the time, no, I'm not interested in that, because I don't know if you're lying to me. Now, if you lie every blue moon, hey, people lie. Like I said, people have seasons. Like I said, I haven't been my best person in this last quarter of the year. You know, but ultimately, is this me as a person? No. But if this is you as a person, I'm learning and putting my foot down and saying, no, this is not okay. And I don't want you here.
You really don't know who somebody is as a person. I think it take time. I mean,
It take time, shit.
people be together in marriages. People be
I agree.
in long term friendships, and you still be finding out who people are. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't even know who they are themselves. It take time. So I mean, like I hear you talking about seasons and stuff like that. I think knowing somebody for a longer period of time may allow you to overlook something that they're currently doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I
That's
ain't
true.
known you for long and you in this season, then I'm not. If that's not something I want in my life,
Absolutely.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
I
attachment ain't
agree.
strong enough. Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think that's the thing. I think that's also a thing, though. You don't, regardless, you learn something new about somebody every day. Every day. Especially if you're in their presence. You might not like everything that you learn about the new thing that you learn about this person every day. But again, I think it comes down to that ratio of what's important to you and what you believe in and what you don't. But you know, you have to be willing. I think you have to be willing, but I also think you also have to give grace. I'm not saying I'm going to shut everybody in life out, because in my life, I've literally just went through even having to deal with having to separate from people, because I've never done it before in my life. I've never like ended a friendship. I never, outside of a romantic relationship, all of my friendships have always has stood still.
Mm-hmm.
So this is new to me, um but I get it. I think there are seasons, and there's different things like Tyler Perry talked about. You know, some people are here, some people are leaves and only meant to be here through a season. Some people are branches and eventually fall off. You know, some people are roots and they're meant to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's what it comes down to me. But Birds of a Feather to me is about character, is about how you move. Because as you already know, I'm gonna hold you accountable. If you out here and you doing something you're not supposed to do, I'm gonna hold you accountable as my friend and be like, hey, nah, this ain't cool. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. You know, I love you. I'm gonna be here for you, but
Mm-hmm.
this not okay. And we need to switch this up as your friend, as somebody that loves you, versus somebody that's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit up here and yeah, you doing what you doing. I'm gonna be out here supporting you, home girl. I'm gonna be out here supporting you, home boy. Nah, because if you moving funny, to me, then that involves the character part for me. So and for me, a part of character that matters is also holding the people that you love accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that doesn't mean dismiss them, but it means holding them accountable to say, hey, we I'm gonna help you get your shit together.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I look at it.
That's somebody that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my friends I love.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if there's, I got love for you involved, it's with me. If I got
I
love
ain't
for you
saying I got love for you,
involved, it's like, hey, look, who am I to tell you anything different?
but
If that's what you,
yeah.
if you tell me right now, sis, the sky's orange, and I tell you it's blue, we're not about to debate over that.
But the thing
I'm
about it
just
is,
saying that
to
Like
me,
if that's what make you happy.
if
yeah,
that's what
if that's what make
I'm
you
not
happy,
about
but
to do that.
I'm gonna be
not
honest with you. To me, it's a big difference between having love for somebody and loving somebody. If I have love for you, now hey, I had love with you. Yeah, I didn't know
And that's
you.
what
What's
I'm
up? That's
saying.
cool.
And that's where I'm going
But
with
if
it.
I love you, that means you my friend.
Yeah.
So
And
hold
if you
on.
my friend, I'm gonna hold you accountable.
And if I got love for you, hey, what we got to get to is we got to just accept people for who they are. It doesn't mean we have to deal with them. It doesn't mean we have to call them.
You
Hey,
love them
I
accordingly.
accept that you think the sky's orange.
You,
Hey, it is
Now-
what it is.
yeah. So now I'm not gonna ask you what color anything else is.
I would never bring up the
I
sky
know.
to you again.
I know you.
Let's
don't know
carry on.
colors, right?
That's it. That's where I'm coming from. But if I have a genuine love, like she said, but if I don't
But
Yeah, the sky's
but
orange.
to me, if you have love for somebody, then to me, you agree to disagree at times too. Even with your friends. With your friends, you agree. Me and Candace always disagreeing about something. And we agree to disagree. But it's not, but I'm saying if there's an action that's happening, I'm gonna hold her accountable.
That's a different type of
Yeah.
love. I'm
Because that's my
saying,
friend.
yeah, I'm saying when you dealing with someone that's on this side of the decimal, and you don't want no ill intentions for them, you
Them
don't
ain't your
want to see
friends.
nothing
Them
bad
just
for them.
associates.
You just, hey, I ran across you, how you and your family doing, blah 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 blah.
Them associates. Those
Them
not
associates.
friends.
But when you're on this side of the decimal, that's the whole. You want the same things, but it's a value in your life. This is what I'm saying. I'm not about to debate with you over anything.
Not with no associate.
That I know this sky's blue.
So
you can go get an entourage.
So it sounds like we talking about accountability now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll add something to that. And I agree with you, Netta. Like, I'm not.
But wait, what you mean? You don't agree with me?
I mean, like,
I know,
yeah.
I'm messing with her.
Nah, I don't agree with you. No, I'm not. I'm not holding everybody accountable. It's not my job.
No, I'm
So
not
wait,
saying.
wait, but let me tell you. So I feel like receptivity goes into it. You know, so it's like part of it is about how close we are.
Mm-hmm.
And another part of it is and where my place is in your life to even be opening my mouth about what you
place
do.
value.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
then another part of it is about receptivity. So even if we're not that close and we have a relationship that's close enough where we discussing these things and you telling me something and I feel like you're gonna be receptive to me telling you something about what you're telling me, then I'll share with you because I don't want to watch anybody go the wrong way, regardless of what side of the decimal point they on.
Yeah.
But even people that's close to you, sometimes like you have to take a step back from holding them accountable because it doesn't do any good, you
Any
know,
good.
because it just put distance in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta weigh that. Like I want to be honest with you. So if I already done told you, and maybe I done already told you multiple times, and I see that that's doing nothing but causing conflict for us in our relationship,
Then
and
you
you
gonna step
already
back.
yeah, well, you already decided you was gonna do what you gonna do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm a be here, and I'm gonna do everything in my power not to tell you I told you so. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
be here when you finish with this. I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then some stuff is like I can't talk about it no more. Like
But
so,
that's
if you gonna go down
yeah.
this road, I am not the person you want to talk to about it. If you tired of
Absolutely.
hearing what I got to say about it, I am not that
There's
person.
no need to talk about it. And
Not to me.
that's essentially what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is that hey, I'm going to hold my friends accountable. I'm not going to hold people that I just care for accountable. I mean, in some capacity, I will because I don't want to see nobody hurt themselves. But for the most part, I'm holding the people that I love accountable. But also, I also agree that it's only so much you can say to somebody. You can say it one time, you can say it two times. At that point, now it's the ball is in their court on what they want to do, and you still gonna love them, but I'm talking about the people that you love, like your friendships, about holding them accountable. But outside of that, I guess the question is because we all have friendships. Like I have a close relationship with you, I have a close relationship with you. How does family impact your relationships with the people you choose to have relationships with outside of outside of family?
Well, I only can tell you from my experience. I have someone that I consider to be family that I had a time with, and she is like a family member. And I brought something to her attention that was taking place, but her mind was somewhere else. She was in love or whatever. And I told her, I said, you know what? I'm gonna fall back, but I'm always gonna be here for you as a friend when you decide to get yourself right. Do you know 3 years went by and she called my phone and said you was right. I wasn't in my right mind space. I never told her, well, since you don't, one thing I'm not gonna do is try to talk to someone to get them to agree with me. I'm not doing that. I'm not an easy person to convince. My yes is yes, my no is no. Firm. Period.
Very firm.
And that's just it. If I gotta stand alone, that's just what I gotta do. She came back and said you was right. My mind wasn't there. It wasn't. And guess what? We still to this day. Or when it's time to take a beat, as in Carla,
As I
she would
always
say,
say.
when it's time to take a beat, that doesn't mean you have to get into it with nobody. When you know me and can honestly say you know me, not know of me, when you can honestly say you know me, and I don't even know myself. I don't know who I'm gonna be in 30 minutes. I don't know who I'm gonna be in. I don't know who I'm gonna be tomorrow. But what I can say, I don't wake up looking for trouble. I don't. What makes you think you that important that I got you on my list to come? Why?
Let me ask
Yeah.
you a question though. Do you feel as though what I'm asking is, do you feel as though family, like your relationship with your family, affect any of your relationships, like with your friends in any capacity? Do you feel like it's a negative or a positive, or they have an influence on it, or
Both.
if they don't?
Because I have some people that don't share the same blood as me that treat me like family.
Mm-hmm.
I have some people that share the same blood as me that treat me like a friend or associate. So it all depends on your life. What life threw at you?
I think I think for me, and this is something that I have been dealing with lately, and I've talked to both of you about it, and actually, and Candace helped me identify this because I didn't realize it before until like last week. When I drove out there to her, was was the fact that one, I care too much about what people think when I never even thought about that, right? And then she had me peel back even more layers and realizing somebody that I considered like family, I had given them too much stock and looking for too much validation from them. And it affected how I moved even in my intimate relationship. So it's I can, and it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me that that's even something that has been peeled back and found to be layers, because I was looking for acceptance from somebody that's not even blood related to me.
Or you probably don't even supposed to be in the same classroom with them.
Well, that's what
Mm.
you told me.
Yeah.
But,
Y'all ain't
but
even on the same bus.
Y'all weren't even on the same level. Like,
so it just blew my mind that people can have that much influence in your life and impact your life, because I swear to God, I was not thinking like, hey, being told, hey, watch out, be careful, things of this nature, and saying stuff like, a tiger don't change his stripes, so be careful. And this is acceptance.
mm-hmm.
I'm looking for acceptance when I'm not, when I shouldn't be, you know, and for my family, it's so different, because when I talk about my blood family, it's kind of like I wouldn't even share as much with them. So they don't impact my relationship with other people.
But do you think maybe you looking to share, get validation from people outside of your family because you don't seek that inside of your family and you're not sharing as much with them?
I think that's exactly what it
Mm-hmm.
is. I think it's because, how can I put it? So me being the youngest and me having the relationship that I have with my siblings, which hasn't always been the best. Me being the person that I am, I'm constantly looking for a safe space. And it's kind of weird to say, but I'm now standing in my truth about a lot of feelings that I might have not expressed or even tried to identify before. You know, I am constantly looking for a safe space. So if I'm, because of the fact that I'm always the one that's taking care of business, I'm always the one that's in charge of this, I'm always the one in control, when really I just don't want to be in control. I don't want to be I don't want to be the person that's being leaned on. I want to be able to lean on someone else. And I also want to feel like I can be vulnerable. It's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that might have caused me to, and because certain situations that happen younger with the particular person that I'm talking about, when I was younger in one of my first adult relationships, that then set a tone for me to look for acceptance and validation. And it's like, nah, now I know, you know, it's sad how I learned, but I'm learning that one, I have to be secure in me
Absolutely.
before I can look for, even if I'm not comfortable with
Mm,
certain people,
Yeah.
I have to be comfortable with me first. And I think I've never been that.
mm,
And I'm learning that now. And like I said, it just pisses me off that I'm at the age that I am and I'm now just coming to these realizations. But I think the lessons lately really have gotten me to the point where God is saying, I'm going to slap the back of your neck one more time until you figure this out. And I think now I'm here.
Oh yeah.
mm.
God is a jealous God. Don't put nobody before him. You looking for
Yeah.
validation from who?
Right, right,
Oh,
right.
he will chastise you. And when you get caught up in his wrath,
Yeah.
I don't want no parts of it.
I mean, I think that's a good place to be though. Like, I mean, you looking at it like you a late bloomer, but everybody learn lessons at different times, and it ain't even
Mhm.
that you don't know what you don't know, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
while you thinking you late, I mean, we could be sitting here and we still got lessons to learn. We don't know what lessons
Yes.
those are,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know. So we'll figure them out as they come.
I
You
think
know.
I think for me it's just the whole, hearing all the time that pisses me off. You have your life together, you have a great career, you have all of these different things, but internally I still have work to do. And it's things that I need to learn. So I'm not as don't focus on the fact that I have this material stuff or the fact that I have this career. I am working on me.
They just gave you their limitation of them. They didn't tell you to stop.
Yeah.
They just
Right.
said, if I had your life, I would be content.
Yeah, I'm
They
not.
didn't never tell you to stop.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
But
But
I think
nobody said, well, you an engineer. You make good
Yeah.
money.
People
Stop.
tell me that all the
Nobody
time.
said stop.
they
They
Yeah,
just
didn't
no.
say, yeah,
said
they
you
didn't
make
say
good
stop.
money.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with Netta. They didn't say stop, but I
Yeah.
think too. I mean, the grass is always greener on
On
the
the other
other
side.
side.
Yeah.
Um,
So so what about you, Candy Cane? Do you feel like family impacts your relationships or who you choose to be in a relationship with?
um, I mean, I think definitely we talked a little bit earlier about how family kind of help you set up your expectations. I mean, some of the first relationships you have are with your siblings, you know, and I think we model some of our friendships after those
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So my family has definitely impacted me. My two older sisters, I have my own relationship with each of them. It's funny because they're 11 months apart and they 12 and 13 years older than me, but I have my own relationship with each of them. Um, and it's different, and you know, and it's based on who they are. But I think that shows me, you know, that I can have relationships with different people.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's things in my relationships with them that probably translate into my relationships with other people. But I think one of the biggest things is being comfortable with not being like the people I'm in relationship with. You know, being different, and that goes back to the birds of the feather flocking together. Like we are very different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess, one of the biggest things is support. Support in these relationships. Um and support is very important, and I'm learning more and more how the discernment of what's so there's different levels of support, I feel.
Oh Lord, thank you, Jesus.
And what I'm learning is there's real support, and then there's make believe support. People that say they support you but really don't mean it through their actions versus people that really support you, and with that support, they may not always agree with everything you say, but they also validate you, but they also hold you accountable. And with that, they don't let you fall.
Yeah, because I have no problem. Sis, you wrong.
Yeah,
Period.
she'll call me out in a minute.
In a minute.
In a minute. In a
Yeah,
minute.
I think I'm a little softer with it. I try to, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
she's
find a
very.
way to let you know, like, maybe you going the wrong way.
Yeah,
Maybe you want to turn.
But
Did you see
I'm
that
kind of
sign
like
right
that
there?
too.
and
Maybe
she's
you want
like
to
that
turn
with me
around.
too.
It got to be somebody I love to watch how I say and how I
Yes,
look.
so she's never like cruel to me. That's one thing I can say. Neither one of y'all have been cruel to me because I don't think I've ever, like I said, I've never been here in this space before. I don't know how to act. I don't know how I'm supposed to maneuver around this stuff. But neither one of you have been cruel with it, which I respect and I love and I appreciate.
Because I'm not cruel, but I leave no misunderstandings
Yeah.
on the table.
The thing about it is that what I wished in this time, and this it kind of goes into what I also want to talk about um is loyalty and integrity. One of the things, and I can just, hey, I was in a space where I told Candace something, and I didn't necessarily like the way that she responded, and once that happened, when I was going through one of the toughest times and going through a lot of challenges, I didn't look to her for what would have been the rational way to make me walk through it. And I feel like I didn't do the same with you. And it wasn't because you didn't put me in a safe space. It was because I was trying to handle it myself. But I'm basically drowning and trying to keep afloat as opposed to relying on people that I could rely on for that support.
You was acting out of emotions.
Yeah. And with that, what I realized is and I'm learning through this process is that there's a huge difference between loyalty and integrity. People can be loyal to a fool, and then that goes along because everybody doing the exact same thing. That doesn't make it right. I would rather have integrity and be loyal to one person than the five people because I know that one person is not going to steer me wrong just because they feel like it's the fun thing to do or hey, they're going to benefit from it.
And that's the question I asked you.
What?
If you had not been dealing out of your emotions during that time with you and Candace, you would have had a different outlook because you would have been talking to someone
That has sense.
opposed to as you should.
And it got your best interest. I'm not here just to watch it blow up.
You
Yeah.
I
know,
don't want to see
and
that. So
it wouldn't have been as you should. It would have
yeah,
been no, sis, hold on.
Yeah.
right. Do you
Because
really
me and
want to
my
do that?
sibling can get into it right now. But what's been instilled into me, yeah, I hit my twin on the arm. You bet not.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter what you and Candace got, what you didn't agree with, what she said. You
Mm-hmm.
have to learn, get in where you fit in at. I know this. We on bad agreements, but I know I can call and talk.
Yeah.
This what I do know.
Because
Right.
what I realize is the people I did confide in necessarily, and Candace helped me look at this as well. That I was confiding in, she of course pulling back these layers that she always be talking about is what was really the intent. And the intent was looking for someone that can advocate for me.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like she taught me with this, and it comes down to integrity and loyalty, is what you divulge to other people, you may want them to advocate for you, but they're going to choose to do whatever they choose to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I think that's where integrity comes in too, and loyalty.
So if you
But
got
I'm gonna stop
Candace,
talking.
or me myself to, despite of what we go through, if you could talk to us because some people only talk to you from a projective of who they are, what they're going through,
Mm-hmm.
and then now it's on you, and now you out of you don't even act like this. Who are you
Right.
listening to?
Absolutely.
What are
I
you
think.
going through? This is not you.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm that in tuned into you and I know this, we gonna have to, in her words, take a beat back. Hold on. This is not you.
Not even just that, y'all vibe on a different level. So when you
Yes.
see her operating at a lower frequency, it's like, wait a minute, this
Cause
this
you
ain't this ain't the you that I
you
know.
higher
Like,
than this. Who told
yeah,
you this?
yeah. Who was you with? Who was
Who
you
was
talking
you
to?
talking to? I mean, like you out of character for real. Who
Yeah.
told you this? Matter of fact, don't even tell me.
But I think so, Carla. You was saying that you didn't like my response to something you told me, and that put you in a position where you didn't want to walk through your problem with me. Um, and I think maybe you felt like I wasn't loyal to you in my initial response. But I responded with integrity. So I get why or how that could be isolating for someone not to respond to you in the way that you would like them to. But I think a good thing to remember, we talked about intentions, is that person's intentions for you. And
Mm.
and hold on to the intent that that person has had for you. If they never had any ill intent or ill will towards you, you know, how I show up for you in our conversations and what I want for you. So if I have a response that doesn't quite feel loyal to you, it's because I'm trying to understand where you're
Yeah.
going with what you're doing.
I don't even feel like it wasn't loyal to me because that's one thing I never questioned with you, Candace. With neither one of you. I've never questioned loyalty. I've never even questioned integrity. What it was for me was I didn't feel like I had a safe space because of the response. It wasn't necessarily like, because like, oh, okay, sometimes I just want you to be like, okay, I accept it, I take it in. And it's not that you didn't accept it, you just questioned me. And because I'm so used to not looking for that safe space and looking for that validation. Sometimes people that I love and they question me, sometimes it takes me into a shell.
So what
Hmm.
made you? Let me ask you a question. How did you go from not being safe with her response to coming back around and hey, I gotta call Candace?
You know what it was? Because she asked me, and I remember I was driving down Woodward, and I was like going through it, and I didn't know what to do, but we ended up talking. And what I didn't do at the time that I should have did was I was driving down Woodward, and she actually ended up calling me. And when she was calling me, she was with her husband, and I don't remember what they was doing, running errands or whatever. And then I was just like, at this point, I just felt an immense amount of unsettledness and anxiety. And I'm like, hold up, in the back of my mind, this is one of my best friends. And I need to just give in
Mm-hmm.
and communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her how I felt, and she apologized. And because she didn't mean to make me feel
Those
that
are her
way, and
intentions.
never her intentions. But with that, she then gave me the most loving advice and wanting nothing but the best for me, and telling me, hey, this is just a challenge, because she understands, because she's married.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
she understands, and she just made it easy. And so at that point it was like a release of just, oh my
Oh my God.
god.
Yeah. And see
you know
me, I never been married.
hmm
Um, with I made enough mistakes on my own. I don't need to add nothing.
hmm
Give nobody a reason to say nothing. I did
hmm
enough naive decisions and bad and good and all of that by myself. But one thing, I am the opposite. I don't have many confidants. I
you got me.
Can I finish? Why
Oh
you like
yeah,
to cut people off?
sorry, go ahead.
So I have gathered a couple, but before I gathered them couple, Carla, Nat, Danny's sister.
Mhm.
Before I gathered them couple, I never felt comfortable with sitting down with someone I knew. I felt like I lost the battle right there. Because a person only going to speak to you from what they heard, their perspective of you, who they think you is. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit down with people that you know or know you or know of you, I always felt like I lost. Because they're going to talk to me from the side I showed them, the side they heard. So I always took my problems to the good Lord. But I have gained some confidence within the last couple of years. But we talking about safe places. I never had a safe place other than the good Lord to go let my burdens down on, to go. I never had a safe place because past, present, good decision, bad decisions, I lost from the time we sit down. That's how I felt. I can't talk to someone that know of me. I lost. That's how I always felt. But now I done gained some people that I could talk to. And it's like, no. So we do have good people in this world. It ain't as judgmental. But I never had a chance to be a kid from a little kid. So I always had to figure things out, what you gonna do, blah, 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 blah. But I never had a safe place for going to go talk to nobody about anything but the good Lord. But I gained some, though.
Do you
I
think
gained some.
do you think you was hard on yourself? Do you think like maybe you thought people might have thought things about you?
No, I was going off base. Not to cut you off, I apologize. I was going off what I was hearing.
So you would hear
I
bad
better not
things.
go there. She said that, and he said, "Oh no, I know I ain't going there." But I can't get mad at them because that's the side of me I showed them.
Okay.
Understand where I'm coming
But
from?
what if sometimes you didn't show them, and they're projecting their own feelings
Because that's
and ill
the
will
thing.
onto you?
Some people know the Netta on the weekend where I let my hair down. I sip my wine, I let my hair down. But you are blessed enough to see me Monday through Thursday when I don't do nothing but drink water and cranberry juice. Going to work all about my coins. You blessed enough to see that. So if somebody only see me on the weekends, come to you and say, yeah, I seen her, she was blown. You're going to be like, no, that ain't her. But actually, that's the side I showed them.
Okay.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I never had a safe place. I'm not saying what they saying is not true. That's the side I showed them. But it's also another side of me too that you didn't see. Oh, she serious. Monday through Thursday, she don't drink. She drink wine and cranberry juice. She from work to home. She cooking and she cleaning. Everybody not blessed to see that side.
But it's also something else though that I'm learning now, and this was a discussion me and Candace had a while back when I was in Indiana, was that everybody doesn't have the capacity to think bigger than what they think they know. And then also people could be judging you based off their own
perspective. Yeah.
Their own fucked up lives or perceptions or their unhealthy relationships that they have. And it might not even be associated to you.
And that's what helped me move on, though, sis, is because the main ones that I hear talk. See, my job is this. I never have room for judgment. What I hear about you is going to the grave with me until I feel like you coming for me. Now I feel like it's my job to let you know you ain't no Virgin Mary. Just because you did it when the sun went down and I did it while the sun is up doesn't make you better than me. But if you leave me alone, it goes to the grave with me. I know things I shouldn't know. But it's not my place to sit up because at the end of the day, like I said, people really don't care what you do, who you do it with. It's just something to talk about and gossip about. But I have come to understand it'll be somebody's turn next week.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I really wholeheartedly believe it'll be somebody else's turn next week. I'm this week. But if you don't come for me, it's going to the grave with me. But if you come for me, I gotta remind you, and I feel like it's my job. Not saying that it's right or wrong. You're not no Virgin Mary. You just did it when the sun was down, and I did it while the sun was up. But we did the same thing, sweetheart.
When I say that Netta, one thing I love about Netta is that she. Do you mind me saying?
Please, I have nothing to hide.
Netta is somebody that I watched. She's older than me, and I was closer to her little sister growing up. And then we've over the last few years, shoot, maybe about 8 years or so, we've gotten closer amongst us, and you know, I love Netta's story. Netta has a story. This girl could write a book. She has a story. And with that story, she has come from a teenage mom who comes sometimes, do her little do, but she has matured and used that wisdom. Like I tell Netta all the time, she could be a therapist if she wanted to. The way she sit back and just listen, she just listens without judgment, and she'll hold you accountable after you say everything you need to say. But talking to her is, you can tell it comes from a place of just wisdom, and I just love that. I love that she is a safe space, that I know that what we discuss, just like me and you, it goes no further. And that's how it's been. And the support that I have with my support system, my circle, it means a lot. And I was just telling Candace that when I called her, it just means a lot to me. Earlier this morning, I was thinking about her and just thinking about our relationship and how much I love the fact that she has, over this past week, we have been talking, and she has helped me to not be impulsive. Pull the layers back and think about why you're about to do this.
Yes.
And so it has caught me up like, no, I ain't even gonna do that.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna do that.
I'm loving that.
I'm loving that. It matters to have that support, but it matters to have that support with people that have integrity. Yeah. It matters to have that support with people who have good character and good ethics, and not just because it's fun, and not just because it's a benefit to them. It's not a benefit to y'all. Mm-hmm. It's just simply, I know that y'all love me. I know that y'all telling me the truth. I know that y'all holding me accountable. And I know that y'all have no ill intentions for me. And Absolutely. If anything, y'all want the best for me. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that from a support system.
So how do, even though I know it's your podcast, I just wanted to ask you a question. Being let down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, baby.
Oh, my bad. We ain't got to talk about that. Next time. Next time. Hold on, sis. It ain't got to be this episode. No. Candy, we're going to talk about it next time.
We can do it.
You sure?
Oh, we can do it.
I mean, so being let down is something that often happens in relationships. And it's almost inevitable. But we talking about expectations, and that go a lot into, whether or not you're going to be let down in those relationships. What do you expect from these relationships? And are you expecting the right things? And then when you let down, how do you deal with that and move forward, or not move forward in that relationship?
So I feel a sense of anxiety right now, and overstimulation with that question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just instantly in my body. Mm-hmm. Because I've really have been grieving. One, as you both know, I lost my nephew. I lost two nephews within 6 months of each other, basically. Which have been tough. It has been really tough. But so that's a grief, right? Those are griefs. But to me, those are griefs that are something that at the end of the day, I can't control anything. And that's one thing I have to learn. I can't control anything.
Besides yourself.
Besides myself, Candy Cane. But let me finish. Can I finish?
Oh.
But what I'm saying is with death, it's tough. But have been grieving friendships that I just recently lost. That when you say being let down, it's grieving friendships. And that's the toughest thing for me because, like I said, I grew up where most of my friends I've had since I was a kid. So most of these friendships I had since I was a kid, to me, they're always my friends. I don't have good discernment. So I don't necessarily know when it's good to throw in the towel and when it's not good to
Stop
throw in the
saying
towel.
that. Stop
Trees
saying
and
you don't
grass.
have good
Okay.
discernment. Stop
So what
saying
should
that.
I say?
Say I'm going to have better discernment.
I'm going to have better discernment. So
Trees and grass.
so this is the thing. Um so I've been grieving these friendships because I thought that people that I loved would love me just the same and not easily discard me. And also not easily um act like they don't know my heart or know who I am. And that's hurtful. And that's one thing I am confident in. I know my heart and I know who I am. So that right there is not, you can't make me question that. What is happening is the audacious audacity to then try to make me feel as though I'm not a good person. Regardless of whatever season I've been in and going through an experience I never thought in my life I would go through. But to judge me off of that and not who you know me to be, all of our relationships have been tough. I've literally been grieving the loss of friendships. And it's been tough. And like one thing that I thought about what Netta has said to me, and I had pulled this up to her, and it was basically it was a good way to look at it. She said basically the grass and the tree come from the same place, but they don't end in the same space. And that people don't understand that you can actually be let down and grieve a friendship because that's what's happening to me. I never thought I would feel this way. I would never think that I would be here, but I am here. And at some point it's going to be better. It's already getting better. Mm-hmm. It's already getting better, but it's tough because me being a friend, I'm going to rock with you and I'm going to support you. I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm not going to let you fall when it's not convenient just because it's not convenient for me. That's not what I'm going to do.
So do you think the word friendship is just tossed around lightly out here?
I'm thinking so. And I'm also thinking the word love is tossed around. Because when you love somebody, you don't mistreat people. And I'm not saying you're going to always be the best person because somebody that I love, I handle things not the best way. But does that, and again, I'm all about ratio. And does that mean that overall that I don't love you? No. But when you show me that you don't care, and you've consistently shown me that you don't care, then that's hurtful. That's very hurtful. And that's the biggest letdown that I've experienced ever in my life because I've never lost friends before. It's not one friend. Like, even though, like me and Candace talked about, we went a year without talking. She told me don't call nobody, don't call her until, somebody dead. So she let her know somebody that died. But we got over that. It wasn't like it was tough to where we couldn't be in a safe space and talk.
It took me a lot to get to that point. I ain't even gonna hold.
But we went a year. But never could I feel like, and one of the things that I never felt like, the fact that she said that to me, don't call me and just when she said that to me, you know what I never felt like when she said that? Was if I called her and needed her, she wouldn't be present. That's one thing I never questioned. Mm-hmm. And I know she would never question that about me. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if we fall out, if we have a disagreement. If I love you, something happened, I'm showing up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the fact that something has happened with me that has been detrimental to me and my heart and my feelings and my life, and the fact that the people that I confiding in haven't shown up and have actually done the complete opposite. It's a big letdown, and it's a mourning.
It's a lesson.
You know,
It's a lesson.
it's a lesson,
Yeah.
and it's hurtful. And one of the things that I did try to do at the beginning of the year was have discussions with those people, and it didn't. And basically, they weren't really receptive to it. I don't think that it wasn't necessarily to mend anything, but it was to express my feelings, because a lot of times I don't get a chance to express my feelings, because usually I'm just a laid back Carla. Don't nobody give a fuck. Don't nobody, they just let it be. Oh, whatever. But the fact that I couldn't do that even solidified me more that it's okay.
It's not okay to mistreat you.
No, it's not okay to mistreat me.
You set the tone for people to respect you. My
Yeah.
thing is, you said it, and my thing is, I don't care what nobody's call me crazy, whatever you want to call me. You gonna know what and what not to do. You gonna know when I'm firm. You gonna.
But how are they gonna know? They gonna know because you gonna show them. You gonna tell them.
Absolutely.
When they step outside of that, hey, back over here.
I don't, because when you know Netta and you know of Netta, or you might say you know Netta, I have a beautiful sense of humor. Drink my wine, crack jokes. I have so much fun. I get caught up with time. I lose track of time. But when I'm out of that character,
then watch out.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing,
but
too.
But they want to say with Netta, they don't want to say what took place before I got out of character. But the whole thing is, Netta. No, you don't.
But, I mean, I think, so when you're talking about when somebody disappoints you or when you let down in a relationship, I think you kind of got to, I mean, for me, this is what I do. I think about how important this relationship is to me, how much effort I want to put in this relationship. If it's a relationship where it's just like, okay, I don't want to put that much effort into this relationship, I don't have the energy to try to correct this behavior. You're doing something that I don't want in my life, or
you fall back.
You're not showing up for me in the way that I would want somebody who holding this space to show up for me. So I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna stop calling. You can stop calling. We could just let that go.
And the thing about it is,
wait, Carla, when it's somebody that's important to me, though, then you have to find the opportunity, or I have to find the opportunity to have that hard conversation.
Yeah.
It's not a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, it's not.
And then I have to be ready to hear how maybe I'm not showing up for them in ways that's important to them, and I'm disappointing them. So it's like we got to be ready to talk about it and talk about what our expectations were. And I've had to do that with a couple of people that are important to me. And it wasn't always comfortable, but it was for the opportunity for us to have a better relationship.
Right.
But a more fulfilling relationship.
But back, and that hits the nail on the head, what you just said, and goes back to what Netta has been talking about with placement value. You learn, and I've learned what my value is to certain people, because they weren't willing to have those discussions. And not only were they not willing to have those discussions, they easily discarded me. And so that's the grieving part for me. That's the hurtful part for me, because in my life, they held a big value in my life, and they meant something to me. It wasn't something easily just to discard. So that's where the imbalance is, and that's where I need to say, hey, maybe everybody I consider my friends aren't really my friends, and we just cool. And we just, are people that have love for each other, but you don't really love me. Because there's a difference between having love for people and loving you. And my thing is I don't want to be in relationships where I just benefit, because I'm not going to always benefit. Now, do I want to feel fulfilled? Absolutely. But it's not just about me benefiting, because there's been several times, even with those particular people, where I got nothing and I was looking for nothing, but I was solely there for support. So it's hurtful that I couldn't get the same in return. And I couldn't get the loyalty, I couldn't get the integrity, I couldn't get the confidence in making sure that what we talked about was just solely between us. And that's hurtful as well because first and foremost, y'all both know me. Y'all know me a long time. I'm not a crier. So if I just cry, then I'm being vulnerable. And the fact that I'm being vulnerable means that I care enough about you and our relationship to be vulnerable. And the fact that when I say, like I said, this is one of the most painful times in my life, but again, it's getting better.
Yeah, because
It's getting better.
sometimes in life, we expect a gallon from a pint-sized person.
Ooh.
They don't have the capacity to love you the way you love them. Like you expecting a gallon from a pint-sized person. It's impossible. Well, it's impossible to get back.
Friendship ain't the same thing to everybody either. So like what you consider a friend and what you look for in your friendships may be a level of depth that people don't always have to offer. So just because you cool with them and y'all nice or y'all can have fun together, don't mean that that's somebody you can have an intimate conversation with.
Yeah.
And then I think as we grow, like thinking about people from childhood being your friends still and not just associates, like it ain't that you don't love them, but really like what's the richness and the depth of the relationship, and is that something that serves you. So it's not that y'all not cool, and it ain't a breaking off of things. It's just as you grow, your needs change, what you need in a relationship change, and the amount of energy you got to spread across relationships change. So I can't be friends with everybody because I don't have the energy to spread across as many people as I would like to, my standard of friendship. And
you know what? One of the things that I am understanding that I didn't get before is you can't expect you from other people. At the end of the day, just because they found that confidant in you and found that support system in you and that encourager in you and that trusting nature in you does not mean that they're willing or capable of giving you the same thing.
But for them to find that in you, they know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't go around just telling your life to anybody.
Yeah, nah, you know me.
They know who you are, and don't let them put them in your head that you something different. You have to be strong-minded. I'm not just gonna lay my heart on you, Carla, if I don't know who you are. Now, sometimes we can be blindsided, but people know who you are.
Yeah. So, like I said,
I want you to recognize the power in that, though. I mean, you show up how you show up because that's how you feel comfortable showing up, or because you've had discussions with your friends as to what the appropriate way is to show up and what boundaries are. But you also had the power to set those boundaries in your relationship and express your expectations. So hey, these are my boundaries. This is my expectation, and it oftentimes don't come up until somebody's in breach of one of those things. But you got to be ready to have those conversations, and you got to be confident enough that what you expect is reasonable, that you could have those conversations. And then if people tell you, well, I just can't do that, or they show you that they're not going to do that, then you get to decide how you allow this person in your life. It's not always cutting them out and cutting them off. Sometimes it's okay, well, I'm going to deal with you at this length because this is what you bringing into my life, and that's not something I want to be there. I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah. And totally, but what I'm learning is that, and what I don't want to change in my relationships is, for one, I'm learning, hey, when it's okay to throw in the towel, because people seem to easily throw in the towel with me. So I need to learn when it's okay, even when I have those thoughts of throwing in the towel. I don't necessarily do it because I'm always looking like, hey, I'm gonna see this through. I'm gonna work it out, or I'm gonna figure it out. But sometimes, like you said, is it worth it? And the thing about it is sometimes I'm putting more energy and stock into people who may not necessarily be worth it. And also, when I've already considered throwing in the towel before, but I didn't, just because I don't like change, which is a whole nother different topic.
Your life will force you to change. Don't worry about that.
You know?
Ah, she said life is gonna get that one for
Life
you.
experience will force you to change. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. I mean,
So
oh,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Carla.
No, you go ahead, Candy Cane.
I mean, I think everybody got the right to decide when to end a friendship with
Mm,
somebody.
mm, mm.
Like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just really based on you and whether or not you think it's worth continuing the friendship.
Ain't the
Yes.
Because
Lord good? He give us options.
absolutely,
He
you
give us
know,
options. Like the Lord is good.
And that's
and
one thing I'm learning. Like, hey, like I said, my grieving stage has been pretty tough. With God is really showing out right now,
Mm.
lately, and and all of the things that I've been dealing with in the past 6 months, and it's lessons. Like I said, it doesn't feel good the fact that I'm just learning these lessons now, but at the same time, I'm also grateful because I didn't live a life of detrimental hardship all the time to where I experienced this where I know how to move with it now.
Mhm.
I am grateful for that. I am grateful for the fact that I don't have that mindset of just because this is how my life has been, I'm going to push that off on someone else.
Well, when you don't want
So
to let go, he'll put you in a
so
situation.
that's the thing. Like,
absolutely.
you
Yes, he
know,
will.
being told, being told in a violation for me, and I hate this, Candace. I hate this with a passion, and this is a violation for me because I am the way that I am, and for the most part, I'm really nice. It takes a lot to get me angry. It takes a lot to get me angry. But one thing that I do not like that's a violation to me is when people try to tell me what I think and what my intentions are. I know what I think and I know what my intentions are. It's not my fault that that's the messed up way you move, or
I
that's the
think.
messed up way you think, or that's what you're used to. That does not mean those were my intentions. And that's a violation for me as a friend. And I would get frustrated with that. Um, because at the end of the day, you can't tell me what I think because at the end of the day, I didn't grow up like you. I didn't come from the environment you came from. You're not me, and I'm still not you.
So why do it bother you?
It bothers
Yes.
me because you can't continuously fight me down. Like you said, if somebody tell you the sky is orange, right? My thing is if I tell you what my intentions are, you can't come back and combat me about what you think I thought or what you think that I felt.
But
And
they
it's to the
can.
point where you are judging me for
I'm
it.
I'm not a debating person.
Yeah, not you. I'm talking
So if
about
you
in
tell me the
general.
sky
But
orange, hey
No,
baby,
no, no,
look,
no,
I'm
no.
gone.
I'm talking
but
about
yeah, but
in general.
they can, and you're using your energy to tell
You can't
somebody
tell
else
you
what
what
they
they want to tell
can and cannot do. Like people gonna do what they want to do. You got to find it within yourself a way to look beyond that and not let that
But
affect you
at
and
the
make you
same
so
time,
angry.
is that I don't need you judging me as a person based off of the way that you think.
I don't need a lot of stuff people give me, but they gonna give it to me because
you.
that's what
Right.
people do.
So that
It's my
means those
choice,
aren't the people for me then.
but you always gonna encounter that, and sometimes you're not gonna have a choice. You might have a boss to do that. You
Well,
might
I'm
have
not
a
Right.
talking about
coworker
my
to do
boss.
that.
I'm talking about my friendships. I'm talking about my friendships.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm just saying if you keep trying to control what other people do,
No, I'm not trying to control what other people think. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't control me by telling me what I think or what I feel when that's not what I think or what I feel.
but it
They
makes
weren't
you
trying to
angry.
control you. They just gave you their
Huh?
opinion
But
of
it,
No,
you.
no, no, no.
yeah, but it
They
makes you
put it off.
angry.
No, they put it off. Like that's what they're
They wrote
doing.
you off.
No, not writing me off. They're telling me, hey, say for instance, I tell you, hey, well, I came to you to see about how your day was going. No, you didn't. You was just coming to get some information.
That's
No,
how
I
they
wasn't.
feel. That's how they
Doggone,
feel.
that's how you feel. Carry
Yeah,
on.
that's how they feel. You ain't gonna stop them from doing
But
that.
see,
That's
me
what
and
they
you are
do.
different
I'm
because
tell y'all, I'm cutting all this shit out.
me and you are different because at the end of the day, I don't need to add nothing for nobody to talk about. But I lived 14 years of struggles and barriers to the point I didn't got so numb to a person talking about me to where what matters what somebody say about you is that they can
Mhm.
tell me right now.
Oh,
Yeah, it don't matter. Like I didn't have become numb to
I got this for you, Carla.
gossip and all of that. Like
I
Shit,
got,
I'm not. I don't care
nah.
about.
I
I'm not
got this
talking
for you,
about gossip. I'm
Carla.
talking about.
Carla,
Yeah.
I told you this already.
What?
What somebody say about you, I don't care if they saying what you think or
That
what
ain't
you
what I'm
did or
saying.
nothing. That belongs to them.
I
What
understand
they
that,
think about you or what they think you doing, that is them. That's their thing.
Let them
What
know
you
and I
that.
get that.
say and what you do, that belongs to you.
But I get that. You're still not getting what I'm trying to say. But okay.
You saying you're not gonna allow someone to tell you who you're not.
I said it's a violation for me. I don't like it. I didn't say I can. I'm allowing them. I'm not allowing them to do anything. I'm not fighting them on anything. I'm telling you that's a violation for me. It's a violation for me to feel like I can't be my authentic self and you try to tell me who I am. You can't tell me who I am if I'm sitting here in your face and telling you, and you know me outside of this one particular situation. You can't tell me that I just can't sit here and you sit up here and just make it seem like I'm somebody that I'm not.
So they can't tell you, or you don't have to believe it. Like
I
which
don't
one?
like it. I don't like
Okay.
it.
That's a lot of things I don't like in life.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is you don't have to believe them. They can say what they want to say, but you don't
Yeah.
have to believe them, and then you get to decide whether or not you gonna have them be a part of your life.
That's
Like,
the
oh, okay,
point.
if
That's
this how
what I'm
you feel
saying.
about
Options.
me, then
Yeah.
maybe I don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, everything isn't meant to, like learning when to throw in the towel. And to me, that's a violation. It's a violation for me, for you to tell me what I'm thinking and what I'm saying when I'm telling you what I'm thinking and what I'm saying.
So when they first tell you and you get that intuition, I need to throw the towel in. You like, nah, but I see the good in everybody. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I see the good in everybody. I'm just gonna keep going.
I get mad for a minute, then about 20 minutes later, yeah, I'm good.
So
Let's
we
let
hurt
that.
ourselves
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
gotta vocalize that to them, maybe like, hey, look, wait a minute, you telling me what I think, and you telling me what I'm doing, and neither one of those things is true. You could tell me how you feel,
Why do I
but you don't have to tell me what I think because you're not inside my brain.
exactly? That's my point.
But I'm
So
saying
verbally
you
express
verbalize
that.
that to them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and
I didn't
maybe
say
they'll
that I
start
don't.
doing it.
I'm just saying that it's a violation. Ladies,
Oh my
And
what's the
gosh,
violation to you? What's
you
the
burnt
well,
violation?
at this point in
you
my
burnt
life,
out.
nothing. It all depends on how I react to what a person say.
Yeah.
Because a person not even that strong to get in my mind to tell me I'm this, because my life says otherwise.
And I believe
Mhm.
that, and I'm trying to get to a
My
point
life says
where
otherwise.
I
You
can
saying
practice
I'm
that.
this,
Yeah,
you saying I'm that.
yeah.
My life tells me something different.
And it's just really just sharing energy. Like people try to share their energy with you, and you got to put up the safe wall, the fire guard. You can't
Yeah,
let
it
their
might just be
energy in.
their dysfunctional energy and not
I
yours.
mean, nah, you do got to look at yourself. Like that ain't the answer for everything. That it's just them and not you. If enough
Yeah.
people,
I understand that too.
if enough people were saying it to you, then you might want to self
Nah, that's the
reflect and try
thing.
to.
No, if it's that's where we go. The birds of a feather flock together. If it's the same immoral people saying this to me, I'm not listening to you. But
Okay.
if it's people that I feel as though actually care and actually stand on something, some type of integrity or some type of ethics, then okay, maybe it's something I need to look at.
So why
Like the
was you in relationship with people who don't have integrity?
well, because I
She
always
see the
want to
good
give
in
you.
everybody.
There you go.
You didn't realize they didn't have integrity until they
No,
showed
it's
you.
just that I always see the good in everybody. What'd she just say?
And I always do too, but I know how to jump up off that railroad. I'm not waiting on that head-on collision either.
That's what she keep telling me.
I come from a household of 9, so I done deal with 8 different personalities. So
Right,
when
you
I
done
step
seen a lot.
outside the door, you this, you okay, whatever. I'm not waiting on the head-on collision. Hey, how you doing? Goodbye, see you later. Hee hee ha ha. I'm out.
Yeah.
Don't have no problem with you, but you still ain't my friend.
So,
Don't have a problem with you, but you still ain't my friend.
Right, right. I gotta put some distance between us.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
end,
I'm gonna have to jump off this railroad.
yes,
I see a head-on collision
I
coming.
will not be a casualty.
Thank you.
So, if we could just quickly talk about, and I don't even really think like examples, but um, when it's okay to leave a relationship or a friendship, I think it's okay when you decide that, hey, I no longer want to be in this relationship, or this is not healthy for me, or serving my life.
The intake and the pressure is pretty sure different from her than me,
Hmm?
because I don't have a lot of time for foolishness. But I had to get to that point. Her, she see the best in everybody, so it's gonna take her a little longer.
Like I said, I never left a friendship before. I never. The closest thing I can say has been left a friendship was I realized a long time ago after dealing with some nonsense with one of my cousin's baby mamas. I realized then that I'm making my business to set a boundary, and maybe this is not right to do, but I'm nice to everybody. I don't think I'm mean to anybody. You really had to take me there for me to be mean to you. But what I then have done is, hey, I'm cool with everybody's spouses. I'm cool with everybody's, kids, parents, and stuff like that. But I'll never get close. Like, hey, we going out to dinner one on one. If it's not the family, I'm not interested. If it's not the group setting, I'm not interested because that did get me to the point where, hey, I'm not interested in doing that, because if it doesn't work out over here, I don't want to be there. But that's the only experience I had. Other than that, I never lost any friendships. I never, like I said, this is all new to me. I ain't never went through this.
So, do
You
you
never,
think there's anybody that's not deserving of Carla's presence?
I'm learning that now.
No, I'm just asking.
but you never had to just like back up, Carla. You never had to just be
That was a
like,
yes or no question.
yeah. You never just had to back up off of somebody. Like they ain't
No,
never.
because for the most part, I'm always to myself anyway.
Okay.
Because for the most part, people are like, "Oh, you know people, you know a lot of people." No, I don't. And then on top of it, I'm to myself. I do things by myself. I have relationships with certain people, but the relationships that I have, I don't know how to, and that's a good thing. I don't know how to have on the surface relationships. I'm not a surface person. It has to be some type of depth there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to migrate through life like that. I'm not fake, so I don't know how to act it. I don't know how to I don't know how to smile in your face and then act funny to you the next day. I don't know how to do any of that. And I don't know how to maneuver that way. I'm just always authentically myself. And when I can talk and there's people I can talk to, I talk to. And when it's people that I even sometimes feel like I can't talk to, I sometimes talk to, and I got to learn I can't. Because I trust everybody. Even when I know my intuition is telling me not to, I trust people because I'm constantly looking for a safe space.
And now you found one.
I know.
So here we are.
Yeah, I just
Um,
wish I would have been part of your safe space before you encountered some of the things. But at the same time, I know it sounds harsh. I'm glad you got a taste of it. I'm glad you experienced it. You know what it sounds like. You know what it looked like.
mhm.
Um, but I mean, I'm sad that you had to experience it. But hey,
I know.
life, you know. So now that you got a taste of it, know what it looked like, know what it sound like. When I was talking about victims, all I want you to do is heal. Because if you don't, your next
Well,
relationship,
I
I
am
don't think I
healing.
don't think it's
We ain't
fair.
talking about no. You talking about friendship? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
What is you? So I'm just saying in general, I think it's time that you heal from the friendships, because if not, you would just walk around and bleed on innocent
Well,
people.
but that's the thing. That's the thing I'm gonna say. I don't even think I would do that because in my heart, You think I would? I don't think I'll
hurt
get
I'm
people,
off
just
hurt
in a
people,
going
Carla.
off.
commercial.
I'm
Not
just going
not
off
on
being a
purpose.
human being. I'm
Yeah,
just going
Not
off
on
being a
purpose.
human being because
Yeah.
you told me that
yeah,
you did some things that I know was out of your character.
yeah. But that was
So
with
you don't know what you would do.
that was with an intimate relationship.
You don't know what you would
I'm
do.
just saying, with even relationships like with the people who have discarded me, and I realized they weren't my friends and didn't really love me, I still will hold their secrets. I still
Yeah.
will continue to care, want to make sure that they're happy and okay. I would never say, hey, at the end of the day, these people did me so wrong that my next set of friendships that I may get, which I'm okay with the friends I got now. I don't need nobody new. The friendships that I have, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this person did this, so now I'm gonna be cautious of you. I'm not, because at the end of the day, you're already in my circle, and I know what your intent is for me. I know that you love me. You don't act. And the same thing with Candace. I know, and I can tell by the way that when I did come to y'all about my issues, the way that y'all handled them, y'all didn't just not care. And even when, like I said, if me and Candace got into it, well, we didn't get into it, but we just stopped talking. I
Got
know
into it.
that we did get into an argument, but then even though we got into an argument or whatever, I know if I was hurting, she would pick up the phone and call me just to say, "Hey, I know we're not talking, but how are you feeling? How you doing?"
Besides, right.
And those are the type of people you want to be in relationship with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
everybody don't want to be in relationship with those type of people. And every relationship you be in, it won't be with that type of person.
yeah. And what
Right.
I
And me and
realize is
you,
I'm not interested in being in relationships with people that don't want to be that way. I'm gonna
but
be honest. That's not the type of
But you
friendship I
gotta
want.
learn how to
but
deal with different relationships. It might be a business deal. Let's just
mm-hmm.
say
We ain't talking about business.
it's still a relationship.
Yeah, it's a relationship with business. Is business to me.
I'm just saying
I don't
though,
care
it
nothing
can be
about that.
something as business. A relationship is a relationship. I'm not about to come up out of $1,000,000 because I don't like Carla. We're gonna try to get together and do this business deal.
We gonna work
I
it.
don't like you and you
Yeah,
don't like
yeah.
me. Let's put this to the side,
Why
make
do
this
that?
money.
What the thing
But
is with that I do that every
It's
day with people.
different relationships.
I do that with people I work with. I might not like you as a person, but at the end of the day, we got a job to do.
Yeah.
so
But I'm
y'all,
talking about people that I'm letting in my space that I naturally would like if they're in my space.
we are at time, you guys.
Okay.
Um, so we will have to wrap this up, but I think maybe this is something we can come back to. Maybe it's some other things we could delve into when we talk about non-romantic relationships and expectations. Carla, I do want to encourage you though to look around and then we've been talking about it. Like you said some heartfelt stuff to me today, and I love you. You got a lot of people that love you in your life. You got a lot of genuine
No.
relationships in your life. Try not to focus on the relationship with that group of people who didn't show that to you. They were in your life for a season, and you got plenty of us that's in your life for a lifetime and for a reason, So lean into that
Some good
and
people.
and find your joy in that. Don't let them place worth on your life. You
Well,
know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
my big sister told me too. She said, "We here and we a good time." So that's
And
what
I'll
it
be
is.
trying to tell her, if you focus your energy on the people that love you and want to be in your presence,
Those are the
you're
people
not
that
gonna have
deserve,
time to worry about the ones.
because those are people that deserve your energy.
Yeah.
That's true. And that's where I'm getting at. You don't think I'm getting there? I'm
I don't
getting there.
know.
Wait a minute. Wait a
I don't
minute.
know if we have time to
We
get there,
ran out of
Candace.
time. So we gone. Thank you, Candace. Have a nice day.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.
And you too. And I look forward to talking to you more. So,
Yes.
yeah, we're going to
I
She
talk to you
love
on.
again.
you.
I
I love
love
you,
you,
Candy
Candace. I
Kane.
love you,
I
I
Carla.
love
love
you
you,
guys.
Nada.
And I want to thank everybody who gets the opportunity to listen to our podcast. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you
And
for tuning in to Holding Spaces.
holding spaces.